Hello, so welcome back everyone. As you guys knows from the last video, I have already passed my 100k FTMO challenge count. It has been quite a while since my last update because I have no trades for a very long period of time, and luckily this week I managed to get some trades in. So you can see my start date is only about last week from the 21st of October, and I have ended the first phase 1 of another 100k FTMO challenge account. So as shared in the last video, if you go rewatch it, my plan is to scale up to 400k. So I've already secured one account. This is my progression for the second account, and hopefully I'll go for the 200k in the future. So for these upcoming challenges, including this one, I have taken much a larger risk compared to the previous first time I did the first challenge. This is why you can see I passed the challenge so quickly, and my equity curve is not very smooth. So these are the objectives. I traded for 5 days, and I very close almost reached the daily loss, which I'll go over later. A bit of revenge trade over there, and yeah, I hit the profit target I think on Friday or something. So we'll go over the trades. Yeah, so this is not part of the strategy. I was just testing it out on the 21st October. So we just start with the trades within the strategy. As you guys know, support and resistance starting from here, euro pound dollar. So the first trade I took for this week was euro pound dollar. You can see over here I have this level marked out here. So I'm gonna remove this. I have this level I marked out here in black, so I can draw two levels, right? 0.872. So once the weekly opens, not very pretty, but I think that's because of the FXCM data feed. So I did a check on other pairs, let's say ONDA, and the feed was much nicer. So for this pair, we'll just use this, because for FXCM, during the weekly close, the last hour, it always move very violently. Yeah, I'm not so sure why. We could take a look. Maybe you could explore yourself. You can see during the last hour, like last 5 minutes before the week close, it just always have this quick move down. Whereas for ONDA, no such issues. You can see the price closed around here. So during the weekly close last week, I was looking at this level, this black and blue level, and I see that price has rejected from it a couple of times. You can see rejected from it once, rejected from it twice, and rejected from it 3 times, right? And then it closed very strongly on top. Not very strongly, but close above the daily highs. You can see a lot of daily highs right here, a lot of highs right here. This Friday candle closed above all, so I was thinking we have a continuation push ups. So I just beat my entry at the blue level, stop below the trust candle, and I just aim for this high. Looking back in hindsight, actually I might have left a lot of profits on the table, but I'm not so sure. So maybe I should have targeted here, or at least here, right? So that was my first trade on the first day, Monday. That was the first trade I took for this strategy. And then the second trade I took was on gold. You can see this main reversion trade right here, this orange line. A lot of people trading similar strategies take the trade. I mark my stop loss using this candle, but I'm thinking now in hindsight that actually maybe my stop could go on this blue line, slightly tighter, because this was actually the last rejection before the push up. Yeah, you can see this very clean level, this orange level. So my entry was price was consolidating, and then price dropped very swiftly into the level. You can see drop very swiftly into the level, The average range is 98 points, and that day when I entered, the price is already traveled 129. So I put my stop below the pink color box. In hindsight, I think the best one is the blue color box, and I took profit right here, right at the previous hourly low right here. So that's the second trade of this week. I think this was on Tuesday. Yep. And then I also took actually on my main account, I'm not sharing it now, but on the FTMO that I passed, the challenge account, actually I took one trade as well. I took this trade, not this, I took this trade right here on Tuesday. So there was a 3-touch level right here. You can see I took this on the account that I've already passed, the first account, because I was maxed out on my margin on this account, so I decided to take this on my main account, and I lost 1R. I risked about 1%, so I took the trade something like this. You can see very clean level. Price rejected from it once, rejected from it again, and then when on the retest, I decided that I want to play it to higher, but eventually I got stopped. So yeah, but it's not reflected in here, but I did took this trade on my main account. And another trade I took was pound Canadian. Actually, this was the one where I revenge traded. So you can see this level I marked out very clean. This blue level acted as resistance right here, so I put a stop below the trust candle, very strong trust candle. And then there was this daily low here. I marked it out, and I decided to run it to this hourly low right here, which actually price did tag, but it did not fail me. But I was not awake. Even if I was awake, I probably would have taken a loss. So when price failed me, price have traveled 138 points, while the average true range was 102. So as a mean reversion trade, price came very swiftly down to this level. I should have taken profit right here. Yeah. So going forward, I probably will set a new rule. But if I'm awake, but this trade I was not awake. If I'm awake, one is that I will get out on the hourly close if the hourly candle touches my take profit, but I did not get a fill. So if it touches my take profit like this low was 1.84067, and this one, the high was 1.84067. So if it touches but it did not get a fill, I'll manually close it out at the hourly close. But that's only if I'm awake, right? So yeah, another takeaway for this trade was that actually I should have taken profit right here. There's not much difference. If you can see, if I chart it out properly, this will gives me about 1.88R, whereas if I push it a bit more, I get 2.04, which is like 0.15. I don't think it's really worth it risking that. This is a safer exit point, so I probably should have taken this trade. As in, I probably should have exited right here. So that's what happened. I sized up for the trade pound Canadian, and I took almost blew this account when the price FOMC, the interest rates comes. Almost blew the account. Actually, this closing at the high is actually quite important. If you guys recall, I did have a similar trade right here in the past. If you rewatch the videos, I think 1 or 2 videos back, I took a shot right here, if you recall. I took a shot right here with my stop right at the high, right? So this is our trust candle, and that time price was gapping up very furiously, and price actually did touches this daily high, but I did not get a fill. I did not get a fill as well, and then eventually I think I managed to get out in profit, or I potentially could have cut a break even, or maybe I taken a loss. I'm not so sure. But if I have implemented that new rule going forward, which is if price touches my take profit level and I do not get a fill, I will manually close it out. So if you look at this trade, if I did take it that time, if I did manage it this way, the stop is 599. Stop is 599. And the take profit is here. So if the trade ideally is 1.53R, but since I did not get my fill, I would have manually closed it at the close, 1.24R, which is pretty good, 1.24R. Similarly for pound Canadian, if I plan for 1.88R and imagine I did not get a fill, I'll close it out here, 1.54R, which I think is still pretty good, instead of letting the entire trade go against me again. So that's my lesson learned, big lesson learned, a new rule going forward. If I was not clear enough, I will write it out here. If the hourly close take profit level and position did not get a fill, manually close out position at hourly candle close. Yeah, that's what I meant. Okay, so if hourly closes take the take profit level and I did not manage to get a fill, I'll manually close out the position at the hourly close. So that's my new rule going forward in the future. So pound Canadian, I did take last trade was dollar Swiss. You can see over here, very neat level, as you can see. Do not need to explain much, right? So resistance, price move up very strongly. There was an hourly first trouble area here. So my entry was right here. Stop right below the trust candle. I'm gonna take profit right above the high, 1.83R. So, yep, price closed above the daily high, and I decided that I think since price rejected twice very strongly, I think price is going for go for expansion. Yeah. So that's all the trade I did for this week. Traded for 5 days. You can see hit the take profit level. Yeah, the pound Canadian trade actually, if I did execute, if I did get a fill, I would have make my profits. As in, I would have cleared the phase one even quicker. But unfortunately, I did not get my fill. Yeah, so that's it, all the trades I've taken for this week. Yeah, some thoughts about how my trading going forward will be. I think I've seen a lot of people doing charts, drawing support and resistance, and they drew it differently from me. So some advice, I'm not so sure if I am in the position to give an advice, is how significant is that level. You have to quantify that level by yourself. Let's say we're all saying support and resistance. Let's say this is a resistance right here. This was the previous support right here. You can see this new blue line. It acted as support for only about 3 days, right? And when it acted as support, the price bounced from it like 40 points. Whereas compared to this support, let's say for example, let me find a significant support. Yeah, this looks significant, right? This looks significant. It did acted as support very long, even though price consolidated below. But if price did come down for a rounded retest, we would expect this level to be much more significant than this hourly level right here, this hourly support level. So you have to find a way to quantify for yourself how significant that support and resistance level is, because if you know how significant that support and resistance level is, you will be able to better gauge how far price will react from that level. This is the same rationale why for this trade I take profit right. I decided to do a continuation play instead of looking for a first trouble area such as my pound Canadian trade right here, right? So because you can see this level acted as resistance for, let's say, 14 days, and on both occasions erected quite significant. Maybe first occasion 111 points, second occasion 59 points. Whereas for this trade, it also have two rejections, but the second rejection was only a minor one, 35 points, right? And it acted as resistance for only 7 days, whereas the other is 14 days. So these are some key nuances. You have to use only your journal could tell you which are the levels that you could run the trade and which are the levels you are potentially you have to get out of the first trouble area, right? So I will show you one example. I will not be going over the potential setups for this upcoming week because you guys, I don't think is of much value, but if you think it's of value, maybe you can leave it in the comments that you want the future potential setups to be back. But I do not think you guys are actually I do not think by sharing the potential trade setups going forward I'm bringing much value. I'll much rather share the way I look at charts, and potentially you could have to take away from it. So I'll show one example of an upcoming setup that I think could be a big level, right? This I've drawn this up daily setup. I'll be taking this on the verification account once the week open, right? So I mark out this black level. You can see it acted as resistance. If you draw the orange line, it acted as resistance here as well, and then it acted as resistance, right? Many touches of resistance, and each time it acted as resistance, the most important thing we want to see is that price rejection is getting weaker and weaker. It's getting weaker and weaker. You can see it's getting weaker and weaker, right? Weaker and weaker. You can see rejection are getting weaker and weaker, which means it's higher probability that this is a continuation play. It's the same idea for my dollar Swiss trade. Is getting weaker. Oh, sorry, it's the same idea as the previous one over here where I drew that level. You recall I drew it on the Oenda. It's getting weaker. It's the same idea, it's just on a higher time frame. It's exactly the same, getting weaker and weaker. You can see it drops here, this one drops until here, this one drops until here. So the rejection are getting weaker because price is not going as far as the previous last time. So when price eventually get above that level on the rounded retest, and the breakout must be clean on the rounded retest, this level must be I'll mark out the criteria here. Level must be well respected in the past, and breakout must be clean. Alright, I think there's high probability that is a continuation play. So that is exactly what I am doing on the daily time frame this time around, because I'm not so sure. Initially I was thinking on Friday I wanted to play this mean reversion trade here for a quick one, right? If price did move very swiftly down, but price did not give me a fill, price end up stalling here. So now, since that my first trouble area is quite close, I cannot get a risk roll of more than 1. I will not be playing it on hourly level. I'm going to change this to a daily level play. So I'm going to widen my box, and I'll take into account this key orange color level, and hopefully look for a continuation play to previous week high. So yeah, that's my 2 cents of how to read a chart. I think this idea of how significant a level is could be applied on every time frame, hourly, 5 minute, 15 minute. You have to find a way to identify which are these levels, because yeah, as I've mentioned, certain levels are more important than the others, and if you are unable to identify, and if you treat all your levels equally, which means you could not size up, maybe sometimes the particular trade has more confluence. Let's say this trade has a Fibonacci, have a average true range, have multiple touches, versus a classic mean reversion trade on the hourly time frame, such as this pound Canadian trade, right? Versus such a multi-touch level. You can see I have this 1.85513 level here, acted as resistance so strongly, right? Acted as resistance so strongly. If price did come up for a rounded retest, not necessarily I'll play to new lows, but I'll definitely expect, I'll definitely expect a decent reaction, right? Yeah, compared to this smaller level, which I have to get out of the first trouble area as quick as possible. Yeah, so these are some things you have to take into account. It's like variable sizing. Maybe if you guys think what I shared in the last snippet of this part of the video about the significance of the level, variable bet sizing, how to read a chart is of value, maybe you can leave it in the comment, give a thumbs up. Maybe or share some ideas of what you want me to share more about. Yeah, I'd love to share more, right? So that's it. I'll cut this video right here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully I'll pass this challenge, and you can see my updates coming soon. Thanks.